What does it take to aim for the moon when the world won't even let you leave the ground?
Welcome back to the Cinephile Studio brought to you by Blank Space Visuals. My name is Tabang and this is Clarence. Today's movie is somewhat of it's not in fact it's not even it's not a movie, it's actually a short film,
Mm.
and I think it'll be very interesting to have a conversation about it. But before we dive into the conversation, please do remember to comment, like, share, subscribe, and because support us. Thank you. We love you.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we need to, Shame. I mean, you've actually gotten me into this. Like, how are you doing, Tabang? The check-in.
I'm well. I think a lot is going on.
Mm.
I think because we are students, so a lot is definitely going on, and it's that season of the year where we catching up. Well, not
Save the semester type of thing.
leading to consolidation week and exams. So, in fact, some of us are not saving the semester,
I don't
but
know what you are talking
we are
about.
stretching that semester to make sure that we are reaching those goals and
Mm.
smashing them.
Mm. Exactly, and
How are
still
you
be
doing?
a full-time YouTuber. And no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
A full-time YouTuber.
Hey.
Wow. Wow.
No, I'm all right. Just again, like it's like what you're saying. Everything is now coming. You have to, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crunch time. It's crunch time in terms
Yeah.
of academics. It's crunch time just in general. But I'm alive. I'm good. We're kicking still. We're kicking. Yeah.
Apparently in postgrad you defend your thesis and
Yo,
stuff
I'm
like
not
that.
even like, son, like,
Wow.
yeah. We'll get to that point when we get to that
I
point.
wish somebody told me.
Yeah,
But
I saw it in
anyways.
the movies, and I was like, nah.
Yeah, this is not, but okay.
Now here we are.
Here we are
Mm.
living the movies.
Hey,
Anyways,
so speaking
talking
of
about living the
the movie,
movies, talking about something that's movies like real
it's a perfect
movies based
segue.
on
Yeah.
real events that happened. Today we're talking about Afronauts,
Yes.
and I don't think a lot of the viewers, a lot of the people. In fact, let me not say viewers. It sounds like I'm saying a lot of
Like, people in general.
people in
Yeah.
general don't know about the what
It's
Zambian
space
space
project.
project,
Yeah.
space
So
program.
project,
Yes.
yeah, same chips, different packet. I used to say.
Yeah.
So this movie again, like you mentioned, is a very short film. Very short film. Like if you don't have a short attention, like if you have a short attention span, then this one is for you.
Yeah.
I think I would recommend it to every single person, like anyone, like whatever your taste is. I think, yeah, it's remember when we did Neptune Frost?
Yes.
So again, it's an experimental film.
Mm.
So very poetic, very like slow, very like filmy, very artsy.
Yeah.
So you have to be like in that space for you to like enjoy it, but you can
You know,
get into it
yeah.
as a person who's like, oh, what is that? I think this one is easier to get into compared to
Neptune
Neptune
Force.
Frost.
Yeah.
Neptune Frost was like a very like,
And it was also a bit longer
yeah,
movie, but in this short film, and I think if you just pay attention, if you can just pay attention for those 14
literally 14
14 odd
minutes.
minutes,
Mm,
14 minutes and some change,
mm,
I like you can just follow. And I think it's a very it's also a very powerful movie.
mm.
um I don't know,
Have we
I'm
said the
starting
movie
to
title?
yes, I said Afronauts.
Afronauts. There we go. I was just thinking like, have we said it?
I
Yeah.
said it, Afronauts.
Mm,
I think it's a very powerful and striking motion picture. It's in black and white,
mm.
and it's not there's no like colors, but it's in black and white, and it's set in this sort of
It's like a deserty,
deserty area,
like sand dunes. There we go. It's
like
very
sand
much
dunes,
sand. Yeah.
and there's just like technology stuff, things that I don't know if like
It's Afrofuturism, I guess.
Afrofuturism, yes,
Mm,
Afrofuturism also, like and it's a really cool put together a film, and the themes that we are going to talk about later on,
mm,
that the film delves into, are also like so visually represented
mm.
by the filmmakers in its I don't know if I'm saying cinematography,
Yes.
and its
The cinematographer.
cinematography.
Kevin Phillips. Kevin Phillips was a
Yes, yeah. So
cinematographer.
beautifully represented, also very striking and very powerful, and you can sort of somehow tell the representation as the movie goes on. With like you can look at how, like even sometimes the camera movements,
Mm.
you can look at, oh, okay, this is,
It was
yeah,
very intentional in terms of like since we are here in terms of cinematography.
yeah,
The film is directed and written by Nuatama Bodomo. I hope I'm saying that
yeah,
correctly. But and then cinematographer was Kevin Phillips. Again, I thought the cinematographer, yay, the cine,
cinematographer,
the DOP, the whatever.
yeah,
Um, it was very intentional. The choices was like you can tell when some like a choice is like, okay,
yeah,
this is like I thought about this and then we made this decision.
yeah,
Like I was saying before we started recording, I was just saying what I liked. The outside scenes like showing us the sand dune, like sort of like dreaming about the moon.
yeah,
It was like giving us, is this the moon? Is this not the moon? Like yes, we could tell like okay, the main character Mata is still on the ground,
yeah,
but there were some moments of like we mix it into like a dream, and like was the night sky we just see black,
yeah,
and because it's black and white, it's already like more emphasized, like the black is like black,
yeah,
and then we see that's just the little stars there, and it feels like this person is like on the moon now, and then we see like a daydream like just floating
and
away.
then
So and then inside it's very tight, like it was very like
yeah,
tight.
when
So
they're like inside
mm,
some sort of housing or
I
structure
didn't
thing.
understand what
Yeah,
is.
I'm not sure what exactly was inside, because I also didn't see tents.
There was just
So
like inside, but then what are they
yeah,
inside?
where the inside of something.
Mm.
So like I'm not sure. That's why I'm saying like I don't know if it's a tent or but
It
inside of
felt like a
some
tent,
structure.
but like we
Of
don't
some
know
structure.
where they went in.
But it's a very strong tent.
Mm.
That's why I didn't think it's a tent, because it looked that thing looked very
Mm.
very structure-ish,
Structure-ish, yes.
like
Coining new
rigid.
terms, eh? Like I really like that
Mm,
juxtaposition of like outside we've got this idea of like, oh, freedom, free, the space, which made me also think about like this idea of like what the question asked, what does it mean like to just dream for the moon when when the ground won't, or like when the world won't let you leave the ground. And
yeah.
the world that we're talking about obviously is we're gonna get like looking at this is from Africa,
Mm,
this is Zambia. We know what was happening during that time, and during like what you call it, the 60s, Zambia had just gotten independence when the space program started. That's what you're talking
oh,
about.
so cut you there. I hope you don't lose your thought.
Mm,
Is gotten an actual word?
gotten
Yes.
independent.
Is it an actual
I
word?
believe so.
Okay. Yeah. Continue.
Is it not a word?
I don't know.
No, it is an actual word. As far as
Okay.
I'm concerned, it's an actual word.
Okay. They gotten there.
They have received,
Yeah.
they've gained their independence. 1964, well, late, it's December 1963, but 1964. Then they decide to start also joining this race.
Yeah.
Because we know that the space race was between the two superpowers, which were
America
America and
and
the
Soviets.
Soviet. Um, they've already had, I mean, the Soviet,
Yeah.
again, they've got so much resources. America has so much
Yeah.
resources, and Zambia, you've just received independence, and you already like what you call it, the goals, like that statement people say, if the sky is the limit, then why the footsteps I mean, the reason why is the footsteps in the moon is because of the Neil Armstrong thingies. But I like that they were like, know what, we're gonna do it. And the ambition was there. I think the manpower was there as well to just try and get everyone, because there was buy-in. It is something that lasted for I don't know how many do you know how long it lasted, the space program itself?
No.
But like uh,
No. Yeah. Like I don't know. I don't know. But
but like basically what I'm saying with this
mm,
is that like the Zambian country, when it like it's fresh and you're already like tackling superpowers, or doing something that the superpowers was doing, and not like just because they didn't send anyone to the moon, or to, like to space, doesn't mean like they failed. I don't think in my eyes they failed. I just think like like that the idea of like equality and equity, like we just need someone to give a boost, and they didn't have that. I mean, even though what you were telling me that the requested budget.
yeah. They he wrote um a letter to, I think, the ruling party then, UNIP, United Is it UNEP? I
Fine.
think it. I think yeah. He wrote an. Is it UNEP or did he write to? No, no, no. I think he. But he wrote to some big body,
Mm.
and Oh my gosh, where are my notes? He wrote to some big body and he asked for 7 million pounds.
Dang.
Yes, he wrote to UNESCO.
UNESCO.
Yes,
Oh, UNESCO.
UNESCO.
But like I think like I don't know if you got it or not, but
Yeah, I wonder, but
it's a pricey thing. I feel like it's a very like
I think 7 million pounds at that time they probably would have made it to the moon
yeah, but
or made it to space.
close like to space or something. But like the fact I love the fact that they did it.
Mm,
They literally had a space. They trained the
yeah,
people like there was the ambition was there and the actions was taken,
yeah,
not just like, oh, we want to do this. Like most of the modern day Africa right now, politicians are always, we want to do this, we want to do that, we not, money is somewhat available,
yeah,
disappears. But like having just gained
yeah.
what you call it, independence,
Independence.
and you're already playing with superpowers and you are putting action, like you are actually doing it. I think that was yeah, the storyline was good.
I think this story is it speaks to like it's like I kept on saying powerful in my introduction because I think it speaks to a lot about the power of colonialism, not the power, but like yeah,
The effect or
the effect of colonialism
mm,
and how they haven't really, they didn't just disappear, and how we can still feel them even after we, or like Africa has gained its independence, right? Like you can still feel the effect of global superpowers actually acting as if they are still those colonial powers oppressing much of our states, right? And I think like the I was just thinking about how the film is set in a desert,
mm,
and the desert is actually, yeah, like it's set, it's like I felt like it was some sort of symbolism of how we are just out of, you know, of colonialism, right? And it feels like they've just been dumped in this area where
area
there's
which
no resources, where
mm,
there's no where they don't have or they have very minimal resources, right?
mm,
And they are trying to and a lot of African countries at the time, you know, were trying to get themselves
make
on
a
their
name for
feet and
themselves, you
make a
know,
name for themselves, right? And because they had completely gotten rid of like
every
colonial powers, right? And cut ties, they didn't have much resources, and
still don't.
yeah, still and I think what I'm trying to get to is that it's a desert. I think in as a representation, it's in a desert area, and they're trying to do this big, humongous, costly, expensive thing, but there are no resources.
Mm,
And I think it speaks to how sometimes, not sometimes, in fact sometimes, most of the times, um our challenge is not necessarily that our challenge is that we don't have resources,
mm,
we don't have financial resources, and but we do have the manpower, we do have the hunger, we do have the
mm.
curiosity to even go to those extents, to even start something like a space program. But there's something that's lacking due to these colonial powers having control over the limited resources that are there in those African spaces. We therefore can't move as much as we desire, and our movement is based on actually this ground holding us back, and it's based on them providing resources of us, and we can't actually move, and this ground is sort of like holding us
Holding us
back,
back.
sort of holding us back, instead of us trying to to be
Break the
free
like
and
go.
break that
Mm.
freedom. Yeah, understand?
Escape
Am
this
I making
world. I
sense?
think that like also I'm trying to keep it in the context of the movie, like the idea of like wanting to go out of space, this world that was created,
Yeah,
and wanting to finally leave that world and be somewhere higher, somewhere beyond, somewhere. I mean, yeah, like beyond
yeah.
is like other connotations, but like idea of like just
Beyond. Yeah,
yeah, you get it. But like the idea of just breaking through this different like what you say, like we've just been thrown in, and we have limited resources. And what you were, while you were saying that, I was just reminded of the rocket that they built. I
Mm,
like that the film took a very experimental approach. And this I always say Afrofuturism, like in Neptune Frost, it was also like recycled things made to look like these technologies. Even here, the rocket you could see was just like different panels put together, just scraping together just to make something that looks like a rocket. I think that was a good choice because it continues that idea of, okay, we have limited resources, but we're gonna make it look aesthetic.
mm,
Like for the film, I don't know the budget of the film. I don't know all that stuff about like the making of the film, but like with what it represents, like they had limited resources, but they still trained. And then the way they trained with the weightlessness, they like it was this unorthodox methods because of said limited resources.
mm,
So yeah, while you were speaking, I was just thinking about that. And um just to continue with the theme of like escape, I want to yeah, I had written down a question for you here, more on the philosophical side, of like escape. Yes, escape. We're talking about freedom, but what is freedom? What does that mean?
mm, mm. I think I don't know.
Because independence is being gotten,
Yeah.
but then
What
th-
is freedom?
are you free or are you dumb? Do you remember that advert? If you don't remember it,
No, I guess I'm too young. But I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't know how to answer the question. I don't know what is freedom. Honestly,
Mm.
I don't think I'm. Like, I don't know.
Bec-
And like, I feel like I want to attempt it, but I don't want to attempt it at the same
attempt,
time. No, no,
try.
no, no. I'm not gonna try it. I'm not gonna try it. But I think what you were saying earlier on about the camera shots
Mm.
and how like when they're outside they sort of have it creates this illusion of freedom, right? Or I guess it alludes to the space and the freedom that they have, the freedom of movement that they have, right? And but when they're inside their structures or homes, like it's so like it's
It's
tight,
very tight, and it's
it's
like
tight, like
everyone is inside that space,
yeah,
and they still
men
have to
on
move
men,
on.
man to
Like,
man.
yeah,
Yeah, it's sort of like a man-to-man situation, right? And now I'm thinking, like, even in outside of this, outside in this space, but like in the out at the in the outsides, right? But like, as much as it creates this freedom, but the fact that we are in a desert, like you question yourself, you say, I have this freedom, but do I actually have this freedom? Because I'm in a desert, you know,
okay,
like
I get what you're saying. Like,
scraping for what? I'm scraping for survival here.
it's a different type of captivity because there's when we think
Hey,
of like not free, is like closed off, but like you can
it's
also be.
giving neo-colonialism,
Hmm. Look
you
at
know.
you, look at you.
Because like I'm like I'm in a desert. Like where like what can I do in a desert? You know? And I think the fact that
It's still fighting for survival at the end of the day.
yeah,
Like I'm thinking now, like people say Africa will not reach full freedom unless there's economic freedom.
freedom.
Yeah,
Hence the EFF. I'm joking.
and
Yeah.
um, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I wanted to now just with I was thinking about a line like with Mata now training and why was she the only one training? Was that, or were they all
I
training?
think
What was like that training program? I just wanted to like what was going on there.
what I'm going to assume, Clarence. I don't know why you're asking me as if I was
No,
part
I'm just
of
asking as like as an open question.
as
Like,
part
mm,
of the filmmaking, but I don't know. But I guess I guess it's an assumption, right?
mm,
Based on I remember I think we also watched John Cleese's film.
yeah.
What can you see us?
Can you see us? Yes.
John Cleese's film.
Is it lady or cheating, guys?
Khona lokho Clarence makunjalo nje
Mm,
uyokuxolela abantu babejoni. So like and albinism and the ideology around albinism
mm.
in Zambia because that film is
This
also
film was also set in Zambia, and this
Zambia,
was
right?
released in 2014. I was like saying, wait, we said last time we said Zambia's film industry is young, and we can forgive. Like, what else when you were saying talking about? Can you see
Yeah,
it?
2014 is still young, Clarence.
Yeah, but I'm saying this one though. But like, this was a beautiful production.
Yeah, actually, this was beautiful. Even like the quality. I don't know if it's because it was black and white.
I think it's because it's short film. There's
Okay,
less requirements for a short film, like in terms of.
okay, but
Mm,
it was very the quality of the picture also was very good.
mm,
Yeah, it was very good. What was I saying?
Sure.
Oh, I was talking about albinism, right? So those I was thinking about those ideologies that they were having there, and I'm thinking maybe in this film, like, so you are launching someone to space, and you don't even have a budget
Yeah.
or like a strong budget, but you're working with something of a budget, I guess, and you are and sending people to space. It's a dangerous program, right?
Hmm.
So you you wouldn't want yo this is
Say
horrible,
the way you
but
wanna say
you
it.
don't I don't think they would have they would I think the thinking behind using umata as as a person living with albinism, it was like, you know how the ideology around albinism ukuthi albinism people, if like they have healing
Oh yeah.
powers and whatnot, and also like they were being killed, and their body
Mm.
parts are being sold in the black market and all of those stuff, and a lot of those horrible thinking, and yeah, right. So even I think in using umata using umata, the thinking is that ukuthi she's a albinism uzoba right, she's gonna be fine, just sending her into space, and if it fails, then yeah, yeah, but it's not
Mm.
that bad. She's like, but if she comes back and she comes back with some sort of defect, at least it's her, she'll be fine. So I think the thinking was behind. I think it was a commentary on that stereotype and discrimination, and also she says in the line that in the film she
Yeah.
says this line, you would say, when she's talking to her aunt,
Mm.
is it Auntie Sunday?
I just
But
assumed like as this a mother figure. I mean, I know it wasn't like a mother, but
uh,
like just a mother figure.
yeah, but she said this, um where do you want me to go,
Mm.
and I think it was speaking to how like albino people are constantly in danger, right? In this context, they're constantly in danger and constantly exposed to harm, right? They are more likely to be harmed. Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, right? And like, and now she's being used like in this program, and like she's
I
like
saw it the
way.
other way, or another.
What do you mean?
I saw it as if like okay, because I wondered like, is the casting choice deliberate or is it just like, oh, okay,
Regular,
we're
regular.
gonna cast anyone that can act
Yeah,
in the role.
yeah,
Yeah, but then I was like, okay, I was like trying to like, okay, maybe it's deliberate, and I did get that idea of like, okay, because there's this
yeah,
like the supernatural belief of
yeah,
like people living with albinism have like this extraordinary or supernatural
yeah,
powers. I was like, okay, maybe this is like a chosen one because the crew that trains her is like, even before she leaves, is like, Mata, tell them that you are first when she enters the tent is like, oh, we're gonna call it a tent, the structure. Like she said, they told her like, they have their Neil Armstrong, but they have their Armstrong,
mm,
but we are body strong. And then as soon as he enters, they're like, there's the body strong we are speaking of right now,
Mrs. Buddhist.
Mrs. Body Strong, yeah. And I thought that was like a thing of like, okay, one is it because like in that time, because again this is based on true events. Even the beginning of the film it says 19 July, is it 19? No, 16 July, 1969, which is the exact same day that the Apollo 11 went up to the moon, basically. And obviously the filmmakers did that deliberately. But yeah, it was a direct. This is a direct challenge to like any Western type of like stereotype of like women couldn't do this that time because like
Oh yeah,
women couldn't be in the proper space program like in that
yeah,
time. We have films like Hidden Figures showing like how they had to struggle
yeah.
going in just to help with the maths, just to help with every calculation. But here in the African context, we have got this person who is not only living with albinism, who is still very like, it was still early, like, even in the West Side, it was still very taboo for that. But now we've got a woman, we've got this person also living with, heading on, and she's leading the space program. She's the one who's
She's
the
not
chosen,
leading.
not leading, but like who's
She's
going to
going
be
to
the
space.
head
Yeah.
astronaut, basically the chosen
Okay.
astronaut to know to go beyond this
Yeah.
world, like
That's a
to.
more positive way
Mm.
of looking
That's how
at it.
I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is
I just thought, oh, maybe they were just launching it because they just thought, what?
this is
If
yeah.
anything happens, happens.
No, because this entire film felt like a I don't know, like a rite of passage type of thing. Like, okay, this is something that this person has to go through to finally be I don't know, like I don't know what the word is, but like
Yeah.
to reach the other side. I don't know if it's like that's a representation of just Africa or Zambia, like we find we have to go through all this, even the training that taboo different, but we have to go through everything that the West is going through.
Yeah.
But even though they're going through it easier, they're going through it because they've stolen the
Yeah.
resources, they've got all
That's
that.
so interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now that we have to play catch up, do it different ways, have makeshift rocket, and
Mm.
find a way to do the training so that we can still, at the end of the day, reach the outer space, the reach the moon as the other countries have. Even though we are behind, we're still gonna do it either way. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Gagoso. That's actually very powerful that you mentioned that, Clarence. Clarence. Before we go even deeper or even chat on the final remarks of the
Yeah.
show, like, let's play some framed.
Display a frame. Oh, it's my turn. It's
It's your
my turn.
turn, and I think for the first time, because the last time,
You lied to me.
no, oh,
I'm
guys,
still angry at that
relax,
time.
relax. That was such a long time ago.
Oxala, you
Like
lied.
now, I think the last time I won, like in the last game, I did win. Like it was,
Yes, but
what was it?
like,
What was the movie? I forgot.
yo,
I forgot.
and this was like,
Anyways, you, I think you're gonna get this, and I hope if you
oh,
don't,
Mama Jack, Mama Jack, Mama Jack.
Mama Jack. Yes, it was Mama Jack. Mama Jack.
Mm.
Anyways, this is your frame, Clarence.
I see vids.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I see vids. Is it like a school thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it? I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have
Are
absolutely
you sure?
no clue.
I'm pretty sure you know this movie. You should. I think you should.
No clue whatsoever. Like this, usually I mean, like, guesses come through my mind.
Is
Nothing.
there no guess? Like take a
Like,
guess. Like say
literally, it's
a
like
wild guess.
there's a Zulu in my stomach.
This is
It's not. I know it's not, but like
This is you. Vets there. Why would you need Zulu on my stupid?
no, no, no. I don't, it's not,
There's what's that girl's name? That beautiful girl. From from.
is it modern? When was it released?
Well,
Okay, 2000,
it is
2010,
20, no,
or 2020s.
something 20.
2016.
I don't know.
Like 2016, like 2010s.
I don't know. But it's very recent. It's not that old even.
Oh no, that's I'm thinking. I was thinking about a series. No,
Okay, I Clarence.
I give up. No, this is I throw in the towel.
For the first time in forever,
What is it?
it's Kiddy Boone.
Kitty one. Actually, okay, I do, I did, but I see, I didn't like look into the Kiribon. I actually didn't look into it.
It's
I've just
Kiddy
something I've heard
Boone.
in passing or seen like.
Have you
like
never watched the?
mm-mm.
Gosh, I mean, it's
That's
such
why
a nice
I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna go check it out.
Kiddy Boone.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Anyways.
perfect time just to
Round it off
round it off. You know,
to the nearest 100.
mm. What is our final remarks? What is your final remarks of the
Clarence,
film?
before some we always start when. What are your final remarks on this
Let-
movie? What's your take? What's
You know, I think no, I just like I think what I said is like the idea of like this film for me as like I wanted to try out a short film just to see like yeah how we do like discussing a short film, because usually this is actually times two the length of the film, or even times three longer than the film. Um but yeah, anyway, the idea of like Afronauts, I think it should be a more like normal term, like astronauts. I think we should actually use
Yeah.
astronauts a bit more, just to remember, because I was just like, how have I not heard about this? Like, how have I not known like there was a African team trying to challenge this super, not even challenge, but like also do the same thing that these giant superpowers were doing. And also in the 60s, I'm like, how do I not know about this?
Yeah.
I think we should what you call it, we should basically use Afronauts a bit more just so that we know, like, just yeah, not because it's cool or sound cool or it's African or whatever, just because like the more we use it, the more normal it becomes. Like, it's not like a huge thing. Like, no, there's African space, there's an African space program.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Like, I'll be like, okay, cool, yeah, no, that's normal. Like, why is it shouldn't be like, oh wow, there's a Zambian space. It shouldn't be like a huge thing. It should be like a thing, like, yeah, it's possible. Of course, it's a good program. Of course, there's of course, like, just give it in a more positive
Yeah.
light. And I think also I
see.
just appreciate this film. because I went down on a rabbit hole of just researching of like the space program that the astronauts had to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the film is a good for a short film. Not even for a short film. As a short film, I like the film.
Mm.
Recommend it to anyone, even if you're not like a
Film
filmy person or
a
artsy person,
cinephile.
a cinephile. Even if you're just like a regular degular who's just wanting to watch something on YouTube,
I think you did it, Joe.
I think you'd find interesting. It's an interesting watch. It's an interesting watch. And last thing, I do like me some short films that are experimental, that are very poetic. I
Yeah.
said last time, like I
And you
don't know,
also do.
like
You do.
yes,
You
yes.
do short
I don't know.
films.
I'm not in that level yet where I
But you
will be
do
releasing
shorts.
where we'll be
But you
releasing public.
do.
I do.
You
Yes,
do
I
shorts.
do. You know.
Yeah, okay, you do short films. I
Mm,
think my thoughts on this, my final thoughts on this thing is that I think it's a very powerful piece,
mm.
and I think it's something that I hope students in high schools get to see this.
Yes, actually, high
Um,
school instead of uni. I think more
yeah,
high school.
I think students in high school, if they could get to see this and learn what there are space programs that they can participate in, or there are things that like there's a way basically
Mm.
to know more about these things and to also spark that curiosity
Yes,
about these great things that Africa is doing,
and it's
um, and
capable.
has
Very
been
much.
doing.
Yeah,
In fact, not just is doing now, but has been doing for the longest time, because this thing is like from the 60s.
1964. This five,
Yeah,
right?
so
Mm,
like immediately they got their independence, and so
mm.
there's a lot of things that a lot of big things that Africa has done, and a lot of big people that Africa has produced, in a variety of spaces, right? From academia straight to science, straight to literature, and it's just like there's a lot of incredible stuff, and I think this film it would act, or it would be such a powerful tool to introduce or to spark that curiosity in the young minds of African countries in high school level and whatnot. So, all in all, it's a powerful and striking short film that I think would be such a valuable tool in our society if it was publicly.
Like
Uh,
very like made like a proper like widespread like
yes.
information that we can
Yeah.
easily get, not just
Yeah.
have to dig through the depths of YouTube or
Yeah.
Google or whatever. It's just something
Yeah.
I can access like that.
Powerful.
Mm.
Yeah.
But
Thank you so
yes,
much for the recommendation.
danko.
Yeah.
Till
Thank you
next
so
time.
much for watching. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say till next time.
I was gonna say thank you so much for. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.